I believe that each Genestream sculpture can act as an amplifier for the community to talk about the conservation efforts that they're engaged in, talking about deep time, the notion that ecosystems didn't just appear, they have been shaped through many, many hundreds of millions of years. Andy Carroll's long-term vision is that communities across Australia could be connected in this way.
People with a passion to care for the environment, we're all working together, and this is where race doesn't become an issue. The issue is caring for country. The issue is protecting our environment. The issue is salvaging something for our future generations. We don't own the land. We are only custodians. We can't take it with us when we leave this life. And so we need to give it back and make sure it's there for our future generations to care for. It's all about a sense of belonging. When you belong to somewhere, you care for it. You've got that commitment, you've got that dedication to care for it. And so all of this will be an educational site. It'll be about caring for country from a Noongar perspective that shows our connection to the flora and fauna, but also about the ecological, scientific Western science and bringing those two sciences together to care for country. And we hope that this model will be replicated all around Australia.
My contribution to the Genestream sculpture internal art references scientific illustration, and it's very much a field naturalist approach to art. What you observe and document today is a statement for the future. And we feel it's important that artists engage more with ecotourism in doing this sort of work to share important messages. The importance of sharing stories led me to create my Red List exhibition, which, through artworks, I told the stories of extinct and endangered animals around the world. These are the roles that artists can take on, is to tell stories. I remember a curator at Museum Victoria pressed upon me that art is a language the public understands. That scientific data can be dry and difficult to understand. A role for artists is to tell those stories, to make that science visible. So, with beauty and intrigue, it can introduce and inspire others to see important details and intricacies of natural environments. And so too, observation through drawing is yet another way that people connect with nature. That's been my experience when working with groups of people. I led an art, science and history project over 10 years at Menindee Lakes. Our project focused on recollecting and then illustrating the same plant species from the historical Burke and Wills expedition. I was amazed when I observed the diversity of species in New Guinea when I was artist on a science expedition with the French Natural History Museum. The extent of the coastal marine species they found was incredible. Artists extend these stories to an interested public. I mean, they're very interested. They love it. They love seeing these things coming from the field and, into an exhibition or into some sort of space where they can share in those discoveries.
Southern Hemisphere evolution goes this way, and you did it beautifully. I think that's great. And I just love the combination of Aboriginal and Western science, the mixture of the two. And the song lines are yarning. It's going to evolve, I think. I'd really enjoy coming back in a few years and listening to someone interpret the structure, because I'm sure all of us will take different things from it.
I'm very proud to be sitting here with young Carol and with a team that's so dedicated to be able to bring forward an understanding and awareness of our world and our role within it through science and culture. Thank you.
Ricky,
How are you?
Cool.
Cool.
Ready?
Yep. Wow. fantastic. This is just done amazing, hey? It's so good to be here in a place that's going to celebrate so much biodiversity and getting culture and science working together. Here, Macrosa, Irma. Wow, this is just done so very, very professional. Honey possum tuft, Sippis rostratus. Let's just see if he comes back to 160 million years ago. Here's the wallaby Irma. There we should be doing it. Right over here, 145 to 60. See, yes, 60 million years ago. Coming in through there. Jeez, this. 190 million years ago, coming straight through. Look at this there, perfect Triassic. Done it very well, Big Ben. These are totems. Everyone in culture, we've always, as a human species, we've always had a link with nature, and we built up our totems as well. But we also have an understanding it's not just, it's actually a real link. It's not just linking them as a token species. So here is Tachyglossus, the echidna. It has a traditional name as well, but we also share a common ancestor. Everything is one. Life is one. And so we can build up our stories. And here, imagine you're human. When do we share a common ancestor with an echidna? So you're coming through it during the Triassic, around 190 million years ago, we share common ancestors with the monotremes. And so all these, the plants and the animals, if you look closely, we can show through science that we're all one. So totem animals that build the culture on the understanding of traditional people, the Noongar people for this one that was based on, it also shows with science. We can show that culture, communication, science, we all work together. And that's what the gene streams is all about, that you can work it together, coming together like the out of the petals of a plant. We all come together underneath. We're all one.
I've done one of these pieces to put on the sculpture, and I'd like to say thank you to the other artists that put their pieces in too. It's a very wonderful thing that we've done, that we heal for the rest of our lives until things happen. But I'd just like to let you know that you're all welcome to have a look at the sculpture, and it's very pleasing for what we've done. And thank Carol Peterson for having the opportunity of picking me, and the rest of the people that done this. It's a very lovely piece of artwork, and I'd like to let you go home with a happy feeling that there's something put out here to show people for the rest of their lives. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Tyrese Quinn. I'm from Mount Barker, and I would just like to say welcome to the country. Clark, I'm in the Kurt, one G, we job, no lovely job, gunny jerk, and gunny Kurt, Thank you.
What excites me about this project is it's a retelling of an old story in a new way. So it's combining two stories together, a new story retelling the old story of our people's, First Nations people, footprints all over Australia. And these footprints will tell a story themselves. It tells how people survived. It talks about the creation of landscapes through the Dreamtime stories. It talks about the protection of the country. It talks about honouring the flora and the fauna as part of our ecological knowledge of how we care for country. So within this project, there are many, many stories, all based on the old story, which will be retold this new way. A new way that brings everybody into the spirituality of treading the footprints of our ancient people who cared for this country.
Genestreaming Sculptures is an action in conservation that is unfolding nationwide. Keith Bradbury will now share Gondwanaling's vision for the Great Southern Land.
What Gondwanaling and Genestreams are about the grandeur of the systems that this continent runs on ecologically and culturally. How do we help people access the beauty of all that and the science of all that and the spiritual depths of all that? And how do we help that stay alive across the continent? That's what we're working on. ecological connectivity, ecological health, and cultural connectivity and health, which overlap greatly. And we're very, very keen to share that story. Not just the story of what we're doing now, but the story of the immense value and ecological richness and cultural richness and great age of this country that we're privileged to live in. So what we're now doing is working with some of the really exciting community groups and Ben Beaton, the artist, to depict this great age. I mean, how do you encapsulate the 250 million years, the 500 million years, the great story behind the wealth here? Well, we think you can encapsulate it in a sculpture that brings together the dreaming story, the Western science ecological picture, and the vigour with which we are living with all the wonderful species and restoring their habitats. So our work here across the greater southwest is forging ahead and making a big difference, but it is only part of the work we need to do across the whole great southern continent we now call Australia. This story is spreading. There's other sites being established across the country, and they're all going to be done as a collaboration between us new people and the old people.
I think this type of artwork sort of highlights the thinking and bringing together all the aspects of nature and the evolutionary processes that's brought us to this point. The history is extremely long, longer than we can imagine. But here we are, the culmination of all those events over a very long period of time. And hopefully this art installation helps people sort of grasp some sort of the concept, I guess, of how this has all come about. This type of installation will sort of will open a few eyes for people who would normally just drive past and probably just see, more farms or more bits of bush, but to actually pull in and have time to sit down and look at the artwork, try and get some grasp of that, and look around them at the mountains and the bushland or whatever's flowering around them, or the sounds they hear around them at that one point in time, and not just going to another tourist spot where things can be fairly contrived as well, just to suit what the tourists like to do. This is probably very educational for a lot of people, but I think it may be the catalyst for people having some sort of an understanding of nature here in Australia, which is quite different to Europe or North America. We have a lot of feeling for all those species which a lot of in decline, and if we can make people aware of a lot of these species, we would sort of be having an effect, and a positive effect, I think, and then maybe people are more likely to want to care for the wild areas. And we know we can have a positive effect if we all, make an effort. And I think this artwork helps to highlight that, which is quite good.
Wow, I'm standing on who I am, how I've come to be, my entire story, the origin, evolution of who I am, all encapsulated in this sculpture. So if I wanted to ask that profound question of who am I, well, here I am, and I'm standing on.
That's incredible.
That's incredible. This is my story here. I love it. So much, so many stories here. All culminate into who I am. Just everything is beautifully depicted here. So, Laurentia, Eurasia. This is great. I mean, every time you look, you find new details and something more to sort of wonder about.
Sensational, isn't it?
Yes, it
Stunning.
is.
Starting to think back only, what, a week and a half ago or something?
Yeah, yeah.
We were
No.
doing, it was so funny, Paul was saying that we're gonna do the trail across Australia from one sculpture to the other.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Yeah, that's it. It's taken us about 11 days though.
11 days.
11, 12 days, yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It is sensational.
Yeah.
They've done a fantastic job.
It is. I love the colours. This is amazing.
Remarkable achievement here in the Bunya Mountains to see everything that's been achieved here is incredible. So we've travelled for the past 1.5 weeks or so from the Parongarups to this site, see the first two sculptures, and think about the incredible connections that we all have with the natural environment, species share with each other. So when you walk in here, you represent humans amongst this myriad of other species, and we're custodians for all of them. So I would hope that that message would be brought to the fore whenever people come and experience this amazing site in the Bunya Mountains. It's incredible to see this. Amazing deep time story and deep in culture as well.